Good evening, it's Reverend Magus. I'm going to do a reading. I guess it's like solstice reading, but the energy right now is very thick. Heavy stuff. Lots of anxiety, and the messages that I'm getting are about transitioning, transitions, releasing, letting go. We've just entered into winter, so yesterday was the solstice. We've done all our harvesting. Now that it's winter, it's time for us to sort of sort through what we have, figure out what's working, figure out what isn't working, start to let go of the things that aren't working, and figure out what path we want to go on. We are really all being challenged at this point, really being challenged for growth and coming out of our comfort zone. So if it's not uncomfortable, it is probably not the thing that you need to worry about. And as I'm shuffling, the devil comes out. So I think, and it would make sense for this being my collective when we're talking about substance and substance use, and vices and addictions that are not always substances. Sometimes it can be patterns of behavior. Sometimes it can be ways of doing things. Toxic masculinity. Okay, never mind. All right. We're going to lay these out in a spread again, so I can look more at the general energy of what's happening here. By the way, this is a new deck that I picked up at our magical white elephant the other day. They're cute. It's the Housewives Tarot, and I didn't think that I would like reading with them as much as I do, but I really do, and that's interesting. They've got like really, very stylized 50s art on them, 50s style art. I'll show them to you as we go along. Well, okay. Oh, wow. All right. Where are we at right now? We got a Knight of Wands. We've got Eight of Swords. Oh, my God. Knight of Wands, Eight of Swords, and then the Magician reversed. Okay, and then let me lay down the last three. Okay. We got the Knight of Wands here, surrounded by the Eight of Swords, and the Magician reversed, which I don't read in verses, and everything else came out. But this is like the slimy salesman. So there's manipulation, there's control. Like we've got this Knight of Wands who is like rushing in, who's all. This Knight of Wands is very hot-headed. He rushes in, he says his piece, he rushes out somewhere. There's been okay, and this is in the center. So if we're talking about some sort of an addiction, a struggle, something like that, we have two modes. brushing around, doing things on, and utterly off and unable to function. Magician reverse. There's too much attempt to control everything, whether it be other people's behaviors, feelings, beliefs, attitudes, but especially your own. There's a detachment from them. There's a lack of comfort with them. There's an unfamiliarity with them. Looking at this Eight of Swords, and she's like sitting here speared on these hors d'oeuvres, and it just said vulnerability to me. So you're in a very vulnerable place when you're in this frozen stuff. It's like you can't express. Either you are aggressive and direct, or you are frozen stiff and unable to or just feel like you can't say anything. But the thing is, again, with this control here, there's too much trying to control what's outside as opposed to trying to control what's in. And it's leading us into some dishonesty, which is something that we need to be mindful of. And maybe this is where the anxieties come from right now, because again, there is a lot of transformation right now. We're letting a lot of things go. So some things like this may be coming up. Where we were, pretty happy. We had Three of Cups. We've got Queen of Wands. Hottie. Page of Wands. So, recent past, we had this, oh, look how cute this is. It's funny because I'm seeing this like Three of Cups, and it was just, it was a fun time. But we've got your Queen of Wands here, who's she's a little annoyed. She's a little annoyed by this Page of Wands, who's kind of bopping about like a kid, It's just kind of like a little energetic. I mean, it's not like it's unpleasant. It can be fun. And she was having fun. And I think now we're in this place where maybe there was too much of that. And then this whole situation kind of exploded. Things about ourselves, that we can control, right in the center. King of Swords. Where I was talking about here, where we have like either we are aggressively open emotionally, or like we are closed off and vulnerable. That vulnerability, that word vulnerability, like I'm not going to say anything because I feel like I'm going to get eaten apart, torn apart, eaten for lunch, plucked it, put that olive right in the mouth. I think it's wrapped with bacon. King of Swords, he's not on the hors d'oeuvre table. He is creating the hors d'oeuvres. You see that? He's not being served. He is serving others. But, serving himself in that, as it were. That's really interesting. That's a really interesting thing. We got that Eight of Swords. I feel like there's a lot of black and white in this reading. Dialectics. It's not either or. It's not one thing or the other. Our perspectives are always limited. Everybody else's around us can open up an entire new world. So remember, just because you think it is one way or see it one way, doesn't mean it is that way, and doesn't mean it necessarily has to stay that way either. I know very personally the power of mindset and how that can help shift things. And that can be really hard if we've been invalidated for a long time by a lot of people. We have to find ways to validate ourselves first. That makes it a lot easier. Anyway, we've got this King of Swords who's kind of wanting to be in control, and he kind of wants to be the one making hors d'oeuvres of other people. I feel like there's an issue with vulnerability here. I feel like there's an issue with vulnerability. With your vulnerability, where you struggle with being vulnerable because, like, you feel like people, I don't know, it sounds like you're hanging around the wrong people, or you just have this weird mindset. It's like either I'm making hors d'oeuvres out of you, or you're making hors d'oeuvres out of me. And I'm like, no, sometimes, and a lot of the time, people are just like eating the hors d'oeuvres together and nobody's doing anything else. We're just having fun. So I feel like there's this mindset that keeps you stuck in this, like, it's like this persecution. It is, we're struggling to control things. Our locus of control, as it were, is outside of us right now with a lot of things. Maybe struggling with addiction or drugs or some other pattern of behavior. And it's like eat or get eaten. It's like that dog eat dog world, and it's just not like that unless you want it to be that way, for real. That's how it is. Like, no, it is not like that for a lot of people, and I'm aware of that. And there's a lot of people out there who can share that experience with you. So you may see it one way, and perhaps your inability to be able to see things from a different perspective is because the perspective that you've given yourself affords you a certain amount of control. And that control helps keep you steady inside. Although, again, it's external, so that means it's kind of unsteady. But, understanding or seeing the world in a certain way helps you feel in control, even if it's not exactly accurate. And here we have this Eight of Pentacles and this Four of Wands. So honestly, what it sounds like is that you have been, you've been working hard to get somewhere. You've been working hard to win, to get to, I heard the word signed. Maybe some of you are musicians. To get to this point of success. Like, hey, I've made it, is what I hear. And we're like really working hard to get to this point of, hey, I made it. What about right now, though? Like, if you may not have made it yet, but right now it's happening. So what does that look like? And how, I'll tell you something. This is something I had to do a lot of thinking about and reevaluating in my life, because, I've really worked on being mindful and being in the moment, but I've also dealt with a lot of stuff that required me to really, to rest, to have to be places. And so it also meant that I really needed to consider in my present moment, am I here embodying life right now in this moment, or am I focused on a point down the road? That goal further down the road, that point where you've made it. Because yeah, it's great to have goals and stuff, but if you're constantly focused on achieving those goals and you're not living in the present moment, and I'm getting this intuitively too, so I feel like there's a situation where you're struggling to live in the present moment because you're constantly focused on those goals, and you feel like every moment of your life has to be focused on those goals until they're achieved. That's not much of a life. And I'm not sure who made you feel like that was the way that you had to go about it. Okay, clarify that. Well, let's look at the answer. Oh, there's a card stuck under there, so we'll look at that guy, I guess. Ask for clarification. You need to, well, and these are the things that you can say change. So it's like, how hard are you working? Are you working yourself to death? Are you taking time for yourself? Sure, maybe you haven't made it yet, but that doesn't mean you're not supposed to enjoy life. Life is every moment. Trust me when I say it'll go faster than you think it will. If you don't stop to enjoy the things that you have right now, slow down. I have learned this very well. Work smarter, not harder. And give yourself the room and the space to rest and heal, because if you don't, then you're not going to achieve this goal, because you'll only perpetually be working at less than optimal if you push yourself all the time. Hi, that's how I managed to throw myself into severe autistic burnout after brain injury and assault. You don't want to go there. You don't want to be in that place where you can't even do what used to be your best anymore. You don't want to do that. Take rest and take care of yourself. Trust me on that one. All right, what do we have here in the outside influences? Well, these are those external things. What do we have? We have 8 of Wands. We have things moving very quickly, and then we have 2 of Swords on the other side, indecision. 9 of Cups. You know, that devil came out. Whatever this is, this addictive pattern, this pattern of behavior, this substance, this vice, this issue, it's going to be different for everybody. This is a collective reading. You know, and again, if it's substance or anything like that, it would make sense that y'all are here as part of my collective. It's not a thing that I've dealt with, but many of my loved ones, and I understand it very well. Well, I guess I have dealt with it at points. 2 of Swords, 8 of Wands, 9 of Cups. It's like, this is a really interesting imagery. We have the couple opening gifts under the Christmas tree. We have this 8 of Wands with all of these brooms. And then we have this 2 of Swords with oh man. Outside influences. This is really interesting. It feels like there's a lot of fast movement. There's a lot of defensive energy. There's a lot of boundaries setting. But I'm seeing this like, are you going to clean up, or are you just are you just going to make the mess at dinner, or are you going to help clean up? Is what I'm seeing from this imagery, like those words, that's what's coming to me. Are you just going to sit there and eat it? Or are you going to help clean it up? You know? Something about, and it's like, there's something about this 2 of Swords where it's like, you know, I feel like somebody was like, hey, can you help us prep the meal? And she's was like, no, I didn't see that. I'm just going to wait until it's in front of me. There is like a hesitance, like a hesitancy. Anyway. Can you give me anything clarifying, Spirit? These cards pop out things all the time. All right. Oh, jeez. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is, oh, wow. All right. So here's the thing. This outside influences situation. Look how beautiful that is, though. What a wonderful scene. It's like, you know, Christmas morning. Everything is great. We're sharing gifts. Are we going to be doing that? You know, are you going to help clean up that mess? Or, you know, are you just going to eat? Or, So we're talking about that outside influences. That's a beautiful scene. That's kind of like a wish fulfillment thing. So this is the clarifying card that came out on the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like there's been some overly slow movement and indecisiveness. Like we're not sure. We're combative. We're defensive. And then all of a sudden things are moving really quickly. And we're just like mowing the lawn. Is that? I swear that looks like Alfred E. Newman, but it's not. It might as well have been. He's mowing the Pentacle lawn. You know? He's mowing the lawn when he probably should be writing the speech to the awards ceremony that he is, or finishing his speech at the awards ceremony that he is supposed to present at that evening, which is why he's wearing that suit, basically, right? But instead he's mowing the lawn. So whatever these outside circumstances are, it doesn't look like you're trying to avoid it entirely. I don't know that that's a very good idea. We have, whoa, where we're ending up here. Oh my God. Jeez, all right. Why is that making me so uncomfortable? And that's why I love these cards. They're really intense. We've got the Devil here right in the middle, and that's the one that came out right away. Can I have that as a lamp? That would be cool. All right, and then we have this final outcome. So here's the thing. We're talking about that line, that final outcome. It's the reason I'm doing these readings is so that you can choose your path. I'm not here to tell you if Joe and Fred are doing it or whatever the hell. I'm not here to psychically spy on people. I'm here to help you heal. I'm here to help you grow as a person. So, no, I'm not going to just give you all the answers. I'm not going to tell you things, but I am going to tell you what's going on around you and tell you what it is you need to focus on to heal and grow and what your struggles are. So, as it stands in these spreads, where we're at the end is not set in stone. It is up to us how things happen, but this is what's likely if things don't change. Now, what happens is I give you a reading and already things are shifted because you have some insight. So, but the predilection here is this, and it's kind of a lot. We have the Hierophant on one side, we have the Star on the other, and then we have the Empress upside down in the middle, and she's decided. Oh, that's just a little menu board thing. It says recipes for success. Anyway, ooh, she's got a nice tray, and it looks really tasty and delicious. Unfortunately, she's inverted. So I don't think we're doing much nurturing of anybody right now. We have, oh wow. This is such a good Hierophant. Look at that old TV with the old test pattern on it, right? Hierophant deals with the ancestors, deals with, lineage, deals with tradition. He is the counterpart to the high priestess as well. And it's more of that intellectual, that air side of things, that earth and air side of things. And on the other side of that is the Star, who is like, look at my awesome tart. Cherries and stars, and then all these ribbons. She is a star. Okay, so the way things are going, I feel like maybe there's a nurturing energy around you when we're struggling with this kind of addiction, for lack of a better word, and like I said, that can be a lot of different things. Maladaptive behavioral pattern, toxic behavioral pattern, which can include substance use. I feel like there's a nurturing individual who you care about very much, but who is getting the poop end of the devil's food cake right now. And it doesn't look like you're going to change that. or that is going to shift quickly enough, because that Empress is kind of upside down. And here's the thing for you collective. The Hierophant, we've got the Hierophant and the Star. I feel like maybe there is something, I want to clarify this Empress inverted, because I feel like there's something, we have this, oh, geez. Chariot inverted. Risk. Okay. You are risk averse. You are risk averse. That's what it is. And this is a very hard time for you then, because we are in a time of transition, and we're a time of transformation. We're in a time of really cutting things out and getting down to the nitty gritty. Things are not going to be pretty next year. And it's time to think about what's important. We're all going to have to take a lot of risk. It's not going to be pretty. The risk averse thing, I feel we want to feel safe. We want to avoid discomfort. We can't always. We can't always. Now, if there's substance involved and even some certain behavior patterns, probably we'll need to get some help with breaking this. But the thing is, it's all based on fear. What's underneath it all is fear. What's underneath it all is fear. And the fear is because of ancestry. It's because of your family. It's because of your parents. It's because of things that happened to you. It's because of who was around you. It's those people. It may even be some ancestral karmatic stuff. But here's the thing. I think to some extent you may be aware of how those limiting beliefs are affecting you in the present moment. For some of you, that may be some ugly stuff that happened. For others of you, it may just be that these ancestors of yours, your lineage has some really outdated and old ways of looking at things and doing things that is holding you back. They would never make a cute little cherry star tart and take it to the damn state fair and win like 16,000 blue ribbons, but you did, or you want to, maybe. If you can stop being so risk averse. The thing is, we have to take some chances in life. We can't, when they say come get out of your comfort zone, let me tell you a few things about a comfort zone. Number one, a comfort zone doesn't always feel good. Sometimes our comfort zone is the devil we know. So, when people are always like, oh, better the devil you know, I'm like, really? No. Not better the devil I know, because the devil I know is the one that's been around for way too long, that's wormed their way into my brain. And that affects me a lot more than the devil I don't know, who I can just say, see ya. Right? So if you're struggling right now with changes, with like letting go of patterns of behavior, addictions, letting go of a certain way of doing things, letting go of a specific path, a specific goal, loosening your grip on these things. The outside world is waiting for a response. And you are risk averse. Things are presenting themselves that are good, that are positive, that can be happy. We have this. Clarifying that Chariot in reverse, Queen of Cups. Is she like... Queen of Cups is also kind of like Spider-Man web shooting ice into her whiskey glass. Be careful how you push people's limits. Because that Queen of Cups, that is a very warm-hearted, passionate, compassionate person, but when she shuts down, she shuts down. Can I get a little bit of advice from my collective? Holy cow, this is a long reading. There we are. Five of Wands. Oh. I love this. Okay, you see how she's just like, she's got her little feather duster. She's like, shoo, shoo, go away, blender. Go away, iron. I don't like you. Go away, toaster. I can't, no, go away. I can't deal with you right now. Oh, please, stop. All right, so stop fighting the things that you have to deal with. These are things that everybody has to deal with. Toasters, blenders. Sometimes we have to iron our shirts. Stop avoiding the responsibilities, the basic responsibilities of things that you're dealing with right now, especially if it's because you're focusing on this long-term goal in lieu of other things that are supposed to be happening in the present moment. It's really, really, really important. I feel that we're just avoiding things. Gosh, we've got this Knight of Pentacles. He's like, huh? We've got the Chariot. He's like, I don't want to do any risk. We got the Five of Wands. Is like, go away, go away. And then we've got this Queen of Cups. Sitting on top of the Empress reverse. Let me tell you something. Lack of action is a decision that has consequences. So if you have a situation where you haven't taken action, if you're sitting there mowing the pentacle rug instead of finishing your awards speech for the ceremony, then, Queen of Cups is going to get mad. And you're never going to have the opportunity to win 16,000 ribbons for your #1 blue ribbon coconut cream cherry star pie. Sounds delicious. Push. We all have to move through the discomfort. Discomfort is a point of growth. Discomfort is a point of growth. Discomfort is when growth happens. When we are uncomfortable, it is a point of growth. Discomfort plus feelings of safety equals growth and change and transformation. So there is a benefit to discomfort. We just need to learn how to manage it correctly. And then everything comes out sunny side up. Be honest with yourself right now about what you want your life to look like. And now is the time to make those changes and decisions. You have been working on it for a while. You got to do something before the end of the year, is what I'm saying. The risk of, I'll tell you what, even if you don't make any decisions in this situation, this is going to come up again. So really the thing that if we want to be really basic about the least amount of effort, we really need to stop being so risk averse, and we need to start addressing what that deep fear is in us of doing things outside of that comfort zone or outside of the comfort zone of others in our circle or our families. 34, 38. Your 10 of Pentacles is in the balance here. And I got this one popping out too. This is what's coming in. So, that justice is reckoning. You got to take a risk sometime. Make it the one you want to take. Cope ahead. Cope ahead is a great thing. Coping ahead is a great thing. Practice those encounters before they happen. Feel them. See what they might feel like. Talk it through with another person. Whatever you have to do. Whatever you have to do to make it feel more comfortable for you taking that risk. And when you do, you'll watch your fortune come into balance. Now we're cooking. That's all. Love you. Bye.